We're here back at the Fantasy Bar. 6 more plays for you for week 3 on Fanduel and Draftkings, including a few of my favorite value plays. A tight end in the mid-range, I think, is in a good spot here. A couple running backs I want to load up on. And of course, my favorite play of the week. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Week 3 edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. The Fantasy Bar ready to rock with 6 guys fresh off the tap for you on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and hanging out at the Fantasy Bar and checking out the video. Now, a bunch of housekeeping stuff. We'll get to the picks, I promise. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. You guys have been doing a great job of that. We're going to have a new feature in the videos moving forward, so check back on Thursday here for a direct link over to the Yahoo 6-pack. And maybe you play on Yahoo, maybe you don't. I suggest you do. They're doing it big over there. But it's 6 more plays that I like with Yahoo pricing, but guys I like on FanDuel and DraftKings as well. So make sure you come on back and click those links. They'll be in both videos. Also, if you want to play against me, Head Chopper, Notorious, make sure you come and check out our contest over on FanDuel. Single entry contest, just a $7 buy-in, with season-long implications and prizes as well. And don't worry, only your top 10 scores count. So if you played the first 2, if you haven't, you're just jumping in now, come and check it out, FanDuel.com/OG. And make sure you listen to us every Wednesday as well, breaking down the entire slate with some of our favorite plays and our favorite bets. You can find that on RotoGrinders on YouTube and wherever else you listen to your podcast. All right, we got the housekeeping stuff out of the way. Actually, one more thing for my sports bettors. Almost forgot. Scoresandodds.com/beer. Tons of information over there. Dig into the games, look at some of the analytics, the trends, bets across all different sports books, prices, totals. Get the best price, the best odds. Scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into the picks here. Looks like a fun week here in week 3. We're going to start you with some value here. Wide receiver Marvin Jones of the Jaguars. Now, Jones been fantastic to open up the season here, still under 5K on DraftKings. FanDuel got him up about 6,300. I don't mind him there, but I really want to target him here on DraftKings at just 4,900. 20 targets so far through the first 2 weeks of the season here from Trevor Lawrence. We've seen some up and down games from DJ Chark. Laviska Shenault now banged up. I think Jones going to continue to be the focal point of this passing game. When you look at the matchup here this week, they're going to have to throw the ball an absolute ton. We know Arizona and Kyler Murray are going to score some points here. In fact, Vegas has them projected for almost 30 points here. Jacksonville going to be in a very pass-heavy script in this game. And I think Marvin Jones, a candidate, again, for double-digit targets here. Pay the price on FanDuel, but really gobble up that value over on DraftKings at just 4,900. All right, let's spend some money now at the running back position with Austin Ekeler of the Chargers. So Ekeler was some panic after week 1, got 0 targets. What the hell's going on? Now comes back in week 2 with 9 targets, which is what we want with Austin Ekeler. We know this guy's going to be a big part of the passing game. Also, getting a lot of work around the goal line, which is always something we never thought we'd get with Austin Ekeler. Looks like some of those other backs that they brought in aren't going to be as involved as we thought. The Justin Jacksons and Larry Roundtrees of the world. This is Austin Ekeler's backfield. So at these prices at low 7s, I think there's a ton of upside here for him in this matchup. In fact, been very good against the Kansas City Chiefs over the last 5 games, 17 or more DraftKings points in every one of those games. So solid floor for your cash games. And we know the upside's there as well in tournaments, especially in a game with a big 55-point total and a guy that's not going to be scripted out of the game. It's the beauty of Austin Ekeler. It's competitive. We know he's going to be a big part of that, keeping that game competitive. Chargers get down in this game. Guess what? That's more targets for Austin Ekeler. So the old double dip, no matter how the game goes, Austin Ekeler going to be a big part of the game plan, a big part of my week 3 builds here on FanDuel and DraftKings. All right, let's go to the tight end position. If you can't find a way up to Travis Kelce, who is a smash play this week, like him a lot, I don't have a problem going with TJ Hockenson of the Lions. Hockenson been fantastic here to start the year, averaging 8 catches per game, seeing 10 targets per game, averaging over 23 DraftKings points a game so far here, and now gets a matchup with a team. Yes, the numbers look bad. Baltimore's been tore up by tight ends. Got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt when they've gone against Darren Waller and Travis Kelce, perhaps the 2 best fantasy tight ends we have. Well, guess what? Hockenson not far off from those guys. So another tough matchup here for the Baltimore Ravens. And we know this is, again, one of those plays like Austin Ekeler no matter how this goes, Hockenson going to be very involved here. If it's a competitive game, he's probably the reason why in that Detroit passing game, they just don't have a lot of guys outside of those running backs. Or if Baltimore runs away with this thing, guess what? They're going to be throwing a ton. We saw him throw the ball over 50 times in week 1, ton of passes in that game against Green Bay. So garbage time is there as well. Not something we want to count on, but a little bonus here. The point is, Hockenson still too cheap in my opinion. Take advantage here against the Baltimore Ravens. All right, let's save you some money here at the quarterback position. We're going to roll with Daniel Jones of the Giants. Now, I can already hear some of you moaning and groaning. Daniel Jones, why are we going here? I mean, it's easy to go up to Kyler Murray, some of the Mahomes, some of the studs on this slate. I think we can save some money here with Daniel Jones and still get pretty close to the ceiling that those guys give you. So we'll get to that here in a second. But how good has this guy been against some pretty good defenses here in Denver and Washington? And maybe Washington not as good as we thought they would be, but still two of the higher end defenses we have in this league. Well, guess what? He's not going to see that here this week against the Atlanta Falcons. The upside I talked about comes from his running ability. 2 rushing touchdowns already this season. We know he's a guy that's going to run the ball a lot. So does he get you as high as Kyler Murray? Some of those guys, maybe not, but I think he can get you close. I think he can get you in that stratosphere to really compete in GPPs and spend that money elsewhere. And we mentioned a fantastic matchup here, not a team in the league that's given up more fantasy points to the quarterback position than Atlanta so far this season. We saw Tom Brady throw 5 touchdowns last week. We saw Jalen Hurts, a similar type quarterback who likes to run, have a big game for us in week 1. I think Daniel Jones continues his hot play here to start 2021 and can't beat these prices, especially that 5,800 over on DraftKings. All right, we like Daniel Jones. The easy pairing would be Sterling Shepard. We're going to go a little off the board here with his teammate, Kenny Golladay. Let me say, I don't mind Sterling Shepard. In fact, I think that's probably the safer play here of the two if you're doing this in a cash game setting. But in a GPP, I like leveraging off of that and going to Kenny Golladay, who, let's face it, has not been great here. Getting 7.5 targets a game, but the production is not there. So why do I bring that up? A couple reasons. First, a lot of people, that's all they're looking at. What have you done for me lately? What do the box scores say? Not a lot there. Most newer players, and that's a lot of who you'll see in some of these tournaments, are going to go with Sterling Shepard. The numbers have just been that much better. Golladay, also the squeaky wheel here, was not happy with Jason Garrett here, and I don't blame him. Watching Jason Garrett, how could you be happy with that guy as an offensive coordinator? But I think there's a lot of reasons here that Kenny Golladay gets it going. Plain and simple, way too damn good to be this quiet here. So I think this is the breakout spot. We talked about how bad Atlanta's been against the quarterback position. Well, guess what? Not very good against wide receivers either. If we look at last season, allowed the most fantasy points to this position. And this year, they're in the bottom 8 there as well. So breakout game coming here for Kenny Golladay. Solid $5,600 price points across both sites. Love them here in this spot against Atlanta in week 3. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for week 3. But before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Week contest, free to play. All you have to do, get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my favorite play of the week. The closest guess is going to win themselves a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. That's right, a month to check everything out behind the scenes. How do you beat free? Also, while you're in that comment section, not only leave your guess for fantasy points for my Beast, who's your favorite play of the week? Let's hear it. Who's your Beast of the week? All right, without further ado, let's wrap this baby up for week 3. Take a look at my favorite play. You know him as the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back. We've saved you some money so we could spend up to the top here with Dalvin Cook of the Vikings, this week's Beast of the Week. Oh, I get it. We'll have to keep an eye on some injury reports, but if he is in this game, even if he's banged up, he is the guy I want to spend the money on. Why? We don't have many workhorse running backs left in this league. In fact, you can probably count them on one hand. The guys are going to get the amount of touches and be the focal point of their offense. Like Dalvin Cook, we just don't have that much anymore. 25 touches per game here against Arizona and Cincinnati to start the season here, and now gets a very good matchup here. We saw Derrick Henry go nuclear against the Seattle team. Even Jonathan Taylor was solid in week 1. Seattle allowing over 44 DraftKings points per game to running backs. And again, I know Henry did a lot of that damage here. But guess what? Dalvin Cook in that similar stratosphere, hell, he's better, in my opinion, than Derrick Henry. So the injury, the potential injury, maybe he's banged up, maybe he's not. I think that helps us out in the ownership department as well, where people may pivot over to Henry, to Kamara, I'm locking in Dalvin Cook. If he's a go in my lineup. Easily my favorite play here for week 3 in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that wraps up for week 3 here in the Fantasy Bar. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you, as always, for watching. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in the comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points for Dalvin Cook on Draftkings for your shot at a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. Don't forget, go check out scoresandodds.com/beer for all of your sports betting needs. And come join the OGs, Fanduel.com/OG. Come play against Notorious Head Chopper and myself in a fun single entry contest limited to the first 500 people. So go grab your spot now, reserve it, and we'll see you in that contest on Sunday. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck this weekend. Again, thank you for watching the video. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, Fanduel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.